that we didn't even have time to be like, oh my god. Like when it was time to get pierced, he's like, take your shirt off. All right, woo, catch. You know what I mean? Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back to check me out yet a mother freaking again. It's your girl Chrissy, and guess what, mother effer? I'm back. Period. Okay, so in this video, obviously I'm just going to get straight into the point. I wanted to give you guys a 2-week nipple piercing update. I wanted to discuss my aftercare, the things that I've done to pretty much speed up the healing process. I say that lightly with a grain of salt, because I'm not saying that it is healed, but I'm just saying the things that I think that you will need before getting your nipples pierced. The things that I did prior to getting my nipples pierced, I feel like I was 100% all the way prepared so that the healing process and the aftercare routine can go as smooth as possible. So if you are interested, let's get into it. Hopefully we don't be that long, okay? All right, let's go. For starters, I want to start with doing your research. I think that is the number one thing that helped me in the process of building up the courage to go ahead and get my nipples pierced and trusting the actual person that pierced it and trusting the aftercare process. Doing your research is such a big deal. Let's start with the person that is going to pierce your nipples. Upon watching videos on piercings and nipple piercings, I came across this video by a master piercer that happened to be local. By local, I do mean an hour away. At some point, he was located a lot closer, and he opened up his own piercing and tattoo lounge. It was a pretty dope experience. I was lit. I went with my best friend. This is something that's going down in history. We did it. We talked about this. I remember it back in 2016, and we talked ourselves up to it on the phone, and I remember us talking ourselves out of it, and here we are both with our nipples pierced, getting it done at the same time, same day, same place, whatever. So anyways, long story short, I came across his videos and to see like how he go about piercing, and he was just so well educated, well informed. He calls himself a master certified piercer, and after watching several of his videos, even him correcting another piercer's like mishap, piercing the areola instead of the nipple, and how educated and informative he was in that video, I was just like thinking to myself, like, dang, I really wish I can find somebody like him to do my piercing. Lo and behold, like I said, I ended up discovering that he is local. And you know what, I was just like, you know what, this must be heaven sent, because now I'm confident that the person that's going to pierce my nipples is going to be a one and done. Like, he knows what he's doing. I was going with the intentions of getting both nipple pierced. I seen other people get one nipple pierced, and because they freaked out, like, once my mind is set and made up on something, that's just it. So regardless, I was going to get them done, and I was getting them both done. So knowing that this guy is well informed, he's a master certified piercer, he knows exactly what he's doing, he knows how to correct, he knows, you know, the type of bar that you should use, and you know, he's just well informed. And I just feel like, you know, I made a great choice. So researching is best if you can. Like I said, I just happened to stumble upon a freaking video on YouTube of this guy and like, you know what, that just was a sign from God. Let him do it, okay? That's a number one thing I think that you should be prepared for. And upon your research, you should definitely be looking for somebody that is certified, somebody that super specializes in piercings. If they have videos, if they have reviews, you know, like, check them out. How, you know, like this guy, these videos were like several years old or a few years old, and now he has his own piercing lounge and tattoo lounge that is very successful. I mean, the day that I went in to get my nipples pierced, it was like popping. You know, this guy means business and runs his business very well, to say the least. Okay, so another thing that I think is very important, obviously, as I stated a little earlier, I watched a ton of nipple piercing videos, okay, like a ton of them, and you're going to get a broad spectrum of, oh, the pain level was a 10 or the pain level was a 3, or me and my best friend were the only ones to say it was a 1. I know I seen somebody in the comments under one video say that it was more pleasure than pain, and somebody was like, responded to her response was like, really? Because mine was excruciating. And then somebody left me a comment saying that theirs was excruciating. I really just think it depends on the person, and because after watching all of those videos and learning how broad of the ratings of the actual piercing pain level is, I just figured like I'd probably be somewhere around a 3 or 4 based on the mixed responses that I've done. I definitely will say this, I totally underestimated myself, honey. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, mine was definitely a 1. I can give it a 0. At the time, I did use numbing cream, and I'll get a little bit into that, or no, maybe I'll get into it right now. But I did use some numbing cream, which I would like to attribute the painless piercing moment or rating, but honestly I really can't. As my best friend stated, like when we applied the numbing cream, we applied it, like I applied it like 3 hours before we actually got pierced initially, and then applied it again like an hour before we actually got pierced. The peak time, according to this numbing cream, is 20 minutes. So the reason why I applied it an hour before is because I thought I was leaving at a certain time. My plan was stopping halfway through the ride, wiping it off and applying some more, because I read in the reviews that I ordered and purchased the nipple cream, the numbing cream, that's what somebody did and they totally didn't feel it. So they're saying that the maximum strength of this cream is at 20 minutes. So we were well beyond like 20 minutes. We had it on for like an hour or so longer than we should have, just turning up and forgetting, and then finally getting pierced. In my head, I was so like turned up, I didn't even have time to freak myself out to be worried about it. So I definitely think if you can, turn it up is definitely a plus, because like we were so like turned up and on one and lit and happy and just having so much fun that we didn't even have time to be like, oh my god. Like when it was time to get pierced, he's like, take your shirt off. All right, woo, catch, you know what I mean? Like we was just on one, so we didn't even have time to like freak ourselves out, which I'm very happy about, because even though it wasn't painful, my guess is, from what I'm gathering from a lot of other people's nipple piercing experience, is that it's their adrenaline and their thought process which makes the second nipple hurt worse than the first. Meanwhile, I'm just like living my best life and I'm just like, yeah, pierce me, whatever. And I remember thinking immediately after getting the second nipple pierced, I thought they said that the second one hurt worse than the first. Like, I can't say I didn't feel anything either. What I'm saying is, like, it wasn't, that's why I can't attribute to the numbing cream. Like, it wasn't like I totally didn't feel anything. I felt it, but it just wasn't painful. Like, it just felt like it just, you know, went through. I feel like I felt more in my nose ring than I did in my nipple, honest. And it was real quick. Like, I didn't even have time to think about it, honestly. So that's why I'm saying, like, you should definitely do your research, find somebody that is really out here certified, out here in these streets, extremely knowledgeable, that he's confident, he or she is very confident. I don't know, this may sound a little bit sexist, but for some reason I just naturally preferred a male to do it. And that's just what it was. Like, I don't know, like if I had to choose between a male or a female, I just probably rather go with the male because you're piercing my nipple. Females tend to be a lot more sensitive and caring, and no, I wanted just to go through, and that's it. And that's exactly what he did. Not trying to sound sexist, but for me, like, I just want maybe a little bit aggression. And to piggyback off of that comment that I read when old girl said that it was more pleasurable, I can agree. I can attest to that. I mean, if you get it done by the right person, piercing in the right spot, because I'm hearing that it's supposed to make your nipples very sensitive, and that's why people get it. That's not why I got it. I got it to be wild, to do something crazy for my 34th birthday, because I knew I wasn't doing much. So I wanted to be memorable, and that's what I came up with, because I also been wanting to have my nipples pierced for a while. So it is what it is. But it was pretty pleasurable, if you ask me, because like I would say immediately after he sprayed like some spray on it, and I remember feeling a sting, but it wasn't to the point where I was like, ah! You know, it was just like, okay, like, you know, I'm just not fazed by pain like that, you know, really, to be honest, thankfully. So going back to watching like a ton of videos, just watch a ton of nipple piercing experience videos. That's why I added mines to the roster in YouTube history, you know what I mean? Because I think it's important for people to fully grasp the concept and grasp the moment and everything that you felt and what you were going through. And like I said, because I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and the pain level for all of them ranged from 3 to 10, 1,000 for some. Like, I just knew because of that range, I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. And then I was thinking, like, why? Like, the number one reason why I was afraid of getting my nipples pierced is because I thought for some weird reason my boobs were going to be sore. So like the few days leading up to the day I was getting pierced, I was just like, I don't know why I thought that. You're only getting your nipples pierced, so the nipples, if anything, would be the only sore thing. And like how they make it sound, like it's like, oh my god, they hurt so bad, and it wasn't like that for me. But moving on, you should definitely purchase your Aftercare prior to getting pierced. So I will show you guys a video, and maybe I'll insert it here. Hey guys, I just wanted to come in real quick and show you what I've purchased, everything in this box pertaining to my Aftercare. I will further explain in another video. Thanks. But yeah, as you can see, like, I was prepared. That was my biggest concern at the point that I decided that I was definitely going to get my nipples pierced this weekend. At that time, I really was just like, I really was concerned about the Aftercare portion, because in a lot of the videos, which helped me prepare for the Aftercare, a lot of the videos, they were just like complaining about the healing process, the Aftercare process, and that was my biggest concern. Granted, I feel as though when you do decide to get your nipples pierced, timing is everything. And being that it's spring, it's the middle of spring, the weather is getting nice out, you know, it was fairly nice that day. To me, the cold doesn't really play a factor, because I have had cold days that didn't really bother my nipples, but for some people it did. But I know, like, personally for me, it would be in a warmer season that I would get my nipples pierced. I found that this is a perfect time, because granted, it may take 6 months up to a year for them to heal. And I would say the worst part of what some may consider to be the worst part of that healing process would be the first month or two, or a few months, or 6 months. So I reach my 6 month mark, I should be good, you know what I mean? Like, it should feel like nothing. And honestly, because of the things that I purchased with my Aftercare, they honestly don't feel like nothing. These are 2 weeks old. They are not sore. I am now sleeping on my belly. I try my hardest not to do it, but it's like every day, the more and more they were healing, the more and more like sleep mode wise, I'm like finding myself on my belly. So yeah, like I'm definitely, I would say, okay, so like the first week I couldn't really understand what it was that I was feeling. The best way I could describe it is that it was sensitive. Like it was, I guess my mind was telling me like, is this what people consider pain? It was a different feeling, and for me it was kind of, it was sensitive. It felt like somebody was doing this, you know, with my nipples. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody was touching my nipples, stimulating my nipples, and that's just what I felt like nonstop. Like non-stop for the first week and a half. It was just non-stop. And I remember by the third day, like my nipples were starting to get, like, you know, if you have like if you have a scab or something like that, and you know, as it heals, it starts to itch. That's what was happening by the third day, which to me was a great sign, because I felt like, because of the things that I purchased with my Aftercare, it helped speed up the healing process. So by the third day, I was already starting to feel and see that they were healing. I was experiencing a little bit of bleeding. The bleeding stopped by day 5, and by bleeding I mean like a drop of blood dried every time I go to clean them. Aftercare is very important. I was obsessive, and still am obsessive, over cleaning and caring for my nipples, because I don't want anything. I don't want an infection. I don't want anything to go wrong, left, right. I just wanted to keep moving forward. You feel me? And I want this to be a one and done. So I feel like because of the things that I purchased, and I've done, I can't say I've done research, but like I said, like watching the videos let me know what not to buy and what to buy from. Even the piercer that pierced me said that, you know, the Dial antibacterial soap is a big no. I've seen videos with women that used that soap say that it got very drying. Some people were using peroxide. That's a big no for him too. Like, he was just like, absolutely no alcohol, no peroxide. I'll show you a picture of the Aftercare instructions, maybe here. Yeah, okay, so that was another factor. So as you've seen, the Aftercare that I purchased, it seems to be the reason why like they feel the way they feel. Also, like I mentioned to you guys before, if you've actually followed my channel, I am working on a hair formula. What I didn't say is that I want this hair formula, this oil, to be universal, that you can also use as, you know, a skin serum, you know, for like eczema and stuff like that, because I have children that, you know, have that. It will be good for dandruff. So I'm trying to make a formula that will be good in all areas, and so I just started using it on my nipples as well to help lubricate my nipples throughout the day. All of that into factor, it has been working. I also use the oil, you know, from that line that I purchased, and the Q-tips. These Q-tips by Dr. Piercings has to be like, this is definitely a staple in my Aftercare. Like, I have to use this. This is perfect for like midday, in between the salt, you know, water soaks or whatever. I use this to soak my nipples. I do this now 2 to 3 times a day, or when needed or as needed, but 2 to 3 times a day. I also actually have, like, as you seen earlier, like the salt mix. Because this is actually the mix now that I make every couple of days when I run out of it. And I just reuse the bottle that I initially purchased the solution in. This stuff, this is supposed to keep you from getting bumps, piercing bumps. Like, I just look at the reviews. Like, I heard a lot of women say that they had got a bump on their nipple, and I was just like, oh, what, on your where? No ma'am. So I wanted to use whatever I can to prevent all of that. Now, I use this for the most part in my hair oil, that concoction that I created, just to keep my nipples lubricated, because I found as long as your nipples are clean and lubricated, and by lubricated, an oil-based substance that can easily wash out, that's not going to cake up inside your nipples, you know, the actual piercing or anything like that. As long as you have something like that, you're good to go. And honestly, these are a big one. Like, this is my third box and I don't have many left. I'm going to place an order. I meant to do it earlier today, and when I placed an Amazon order, I totally forgot, but I'm gonna place another order. I think 2 of these come packaged for like $30. Okay, I want to touch on some things. Like I said, time and place for piercing is a #1 big thing. The season, also the fact that I work from home, so does my best friend. We work from home, so we were able to really tend to our nipples as far as the cleaning portion throughout the day. Like, I would say the first week I was like super obsessive with the cleaning, especially the first 2-3 days. Like, by the third day I felt like, okay, I don't have to be as excessive, and I told myself I'm gonna do like a soak in the morning and a soak before I go to bed. But that first week, I would say that first week to week and a half, I was doing a soak morning, noon, and evening. I mean, one of these things, just a sea salt. I said, I don't know what kind of salt I said, but a sea salt bath, water bath. And basically, I just take this cup, which is an old medicine cup. I have a bunch of them. Obviously, I have kids, and you know. Anyways, take the cup and, you know, just fill it up. I put about 2 teaspoons in there and place my nipple in there and just like hold it up. And I do this while working. I'll be doing this while working, and I let it soak anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, sometimes 10, depending on how comfortable I am. Like, the longer the better. And yes, I still have some type of secretions coming out of it. Not bloody. They call it pus. I'm going to say pussy. I don't want to say pussy, but it's some type of secretion. It's not, I don't know what it is, but yeah, so I'm just thinking about like the actual piercing itself. I would say like by day 3 or 4, I noticed like the actual piercing was just like a clean, like it wasn't like hard or scabby like it was like the first day or 2, you know, the like first full day or 2. But yeah, but these soaks are wonderful. Like, they really pull whatever out, and I guess that's why that's really important. So if you can do it 3 times a day, do it three times a day. I do it 3 times a day if I feel like it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, like, I'll do it twice a day, once in the morning or when I wake up and before I go to bed. I make sure I put enough oil. So like, I'll do like 1 drop of this on each side, and I'll use like my hair oil, which is a little bit thicker, you know, because I know that it, you know, I'm going to sleep and it'll be a while, it'll be hours before I'll be able to apply some more oil, and that just be that on that. So yeah, I don't have any issues though. Like I said, if I can do this, it's literally just over 2 weeks, so I'm good. Like, literally, I'm good. Before, I would say at the 2-week mark, I was bringing a 58-inch TV up the stairs because my son broke my 70-inch. Lord Jesus. Anyway, I was carrying that up the stairs, and my foot slipped because I had on these sandals. So my foot slipped out of the sandal on the stairs, and to stop myself from falling, I like grabbed the box and kind of held it a certain position, and my nipple, because I don't ever wear a bra ever, my nipple rubbed against the box, and I was like, oh, doesn't hurt. But by the end of that evening, I was like, oh no, it's starting to sting. And I went, grabbed this, soaked it, put my oil on, and like 5 minutes later didn't feel a thing. So the sea salt baths are absolutely necessary for soothing as well as cleansing. Oils keep it lubricated because your nipples don't like being dry, especially within the first week or so, like in the healing process. As long as you feel something, keep applying that lubricant, okay? But now, like I said, ever since like just after the 2-week mark, I stopped feeling that sensitivity that I was feeling that was nonstop, that felt like somebody was stimulating my nipples. So that's great. You know, and I feel like that's must be what people complain about, that they think is hurting. I would compare it more to a sting, but I don't know, like maybe my body just adjusted to it really quickly, because now I don't feel absolutely anything. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. I do plan to update you guys again in the 1 month mark, and after 1 month I'll probably do like every 3 months to let you guys know how it's going. If I plan on changing my nipple rings, when I plan on changing them, you know, more into that detail. But this one I just really wanted to prepare those who are seeking information regarding nipple piercings and aftercare. I just wanted to share with you guys the things that work and help me, because obviously I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. They are healing beautifully, magnificently, and I really attribute that to overly preparing myself prior to getting my nipples pierced, like just being overly prepared. Yes, it cost a lot of money. I'll show y'all the bill, okay? Cost a lot of money. I also purchased some sports bras, but for me, because I've seen a lot of people in those videos say that, you know, sports bras were their best friend. Me, it's my worst enemy. I don't like wearing bras in general. So just a loose fitting, and by loose, not, I don't know, like a loose shirt or something that's not extremely too tight, just something that rests. The shirt that I had on in my last video, which I'll leave here, I purchased it from H&M. They had it on sale for $4.99. I got it in almost every color, and those shirts were my best friend. They felt comfortable against the skin. You know, it wasn't too tight, it wasn't rubbing anything, it was allowing my nipples to breathe, heal, and at the same time I felt extremely comfortable. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. We're almost at that 30-minute mark. I am sorry, I don't mean to do that to y'all, but thank you so much for watching. Peace and love and harmony. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the link below. Please leave them in the description box below. All right, peace and love and harmony, and be blessed. Yes.